Station. I'm Brett Winterbull, sitting next to Mike Slater.
Hello, sir.
He's busy multitasking.
Multiplying.
And Mark Larson here at the end of the caboose.
Mark Larson's right over there. Guys,
by the way, do you like when we hear in the ear, you hear jingles saying to you from, because we're in the cavernous television studio,
That's
the
correct.
KFMB studio, you could do the Titanic in there. That would, you could do an epic motion picture in there. It's a big studio. And then jingles is down the hall. So when he tosses to you in your ear, saying, Brett, you're hot. Does that bother you?
I don't hear him at all. I don't have a feed.
Brett just feels.
That's too bad.
I sense.
He
I
senses,
sense.
yeah.
Okay, that's even creepier.
It's a sense.
Okay.
I know because he tells me I'm hot.
We got it down.
800-760-KFMB.
He says we got it done. See, nobody can. Did we hear you on the air that time, Jingles? Was that
I
you?
hope so.
Oh, I sure hope so.
Yeah, that
Hey,
is
by the way, a shout out to not only Dave Sniff, who is our fearless
Absolutely.
leader, but Dan Noon and Justin and just a parade, Eric
Rubalcaba.
everybody who has been behind the scenes. Watching this all come together,
Huge.
all the things that could go horribly wrong in this studio that aren't.
And that's right. And that's why we're going to make things go incredibly right by getting our amazing audience, amazingly generous. Oh, another one coming.
That's $1,000 right there.
$1,000.
Oh, ring that louder than that.
Let's hear that. Man.
Let's hear that cowbell better than that.
800-760-KFMB.
That's a hearty
right
one.
there,
All
ladies
right,
and
that's
gentlemen.
That's such an awesome donation,
It is
$1,000.
incredible. That's really incredible when you think about it.
that's so generous.
I mean, that's the thing. We are doing miracles, Mike Slater, or we're enabling miracles. They're the listeners, the donors are doing the miracles. We are enabling the miracles.
I think part of the miracle, we talked about this earlier today, Mike and I did, about the job numbers that came out today, the economy, what the stock market's doing. People, set aside all the political stuff. You just look at that.
Yes.
People feel better. I mean, you can always find, this time of the year, you'll find some survey that says, well, people are there was another survey today that says 300 days a year people wake up grumpy. Okay, really? Right. And then you listen to the stories from these warriors who have been coming back and not fully physically the way they were, and yet have the great optimism. We see the smiles. They love what Warrior Foundation Freedom Station does. They're living this. This is not just theory. Yep. One thing, if we've been doing this for years, like Mike, you've been here doing this longer than Brett or I have been doing it. But when you talk about getting things done, we're not talking about something, in this case 15 years ago, where there's still a theory that then one day we'll build Freedom Station. We've got Freedom Station 1, we have Freedom Station 2, and had some good news on Freedom Station 2 today as well, right? So that's getting the job done. And when you think about how quickly this come together with such tremendous result in terms of just minuscule overhead. There's some charities that we always see that you could probably Google something else, where they go, $12 of every $100.
They got the top rating on the Navigator, man.
This is big stuff.
Absolutely.
Top. So you can give confidentially, you can give publicly, you mention your business, whatever. Absolutely. We're down to the wire here. I'm heading towards 6 o'clock. We're at $975,343. And you need to call, please.
Yep.
800-760-KFMB. It's rainy. You don't want to be driving in that. Pull off safely. Call 800-760-KFMB, 800-760-5362, or very easy to go either on your phone, if you have the KFMB app, or just go to 760KFMB.com. You can also, what's really fun, we watch all these donations tracked. Because we'll hear the cowbell for the thousands, and then we'll occasionally get an update, but you watch that and there's a cowbell. See, there's another one right there. There you go. Beautiful. But we're seeing the 25 and the 50 and the 10, and once in a while amounts that are kind of like $27. That's interesting. You could see the sacrifice with so many of these people.
Did you see the $1,207.41 donation?
Yeah.
It sounds like cleaning out a really big piggy bank you're saving for something else.
1207.41. Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor
tomorrow.
Day.
How about that donation? So let's see a few more of those. Someone wrote in their online, you can see their name, and they wrote Pearl Harbor Memory.
Nice.
$1,207.41. So a few of those would be real nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you have people, Brett mentioned earlier, people who have served, think about generationally. Sometimes people donate because they didn't serve. Maybe, during the draft era, you weren't drafted. Maybe your lottery number was way out there, so you never were really in danger of being called up.
This is my biggest takeaway from the colonel who we talked to earlier. With two guys up here, both of them, one committed suicide and died and brought back to life, and the other was close. And the colonel said, man, I've served for 30 years, and I've never been injured. I have a responsibility to help these young men.
That's a great point.
And I thought, whoa, you're a colonel, you've served 30 years, and you feel like you have a responsibility.
Yeah.
I've done nothing. I haven't joined the military at all. I've done nothing. What is my responsibility to help these men thrive for the rest of their life?
Yep.
It's far beyond. He's already paid a high cost of 30 years of service.
Right.
I've paid no such cost. I need to pay up. It's a duty.
Yes,
it's a duty.
It is. And we want to encourage any amount will be accepted. Okay, don't feel like listen. You have no idea how that becomes a force multiplier combined with the other donations, and that's why you ought to give us a call at 800-760-KFMB 800-760-5362. Let's get these phones ringing. Let's get these.
We have idle reindeers now.
Let's get these reindeers going. Reindeer.
I said
What
reindeers.
vet or story stands out to you so far, Brett?
Well, for me, it was wonderful. It was wonderful talking to Jack Lyon about the work he has done with combat stress and TBI and helping these young men come back and young women come back from that horrible situation that he didn't have presented to him, that the sort of resources coming back from Vietnam. Yeah. And I think it's so cool to see generationally the support that now exists. As we mentioned, right? We've been in the war on terror for what, 18 years?
Yeah.
18 years.
Yeah.
High school grads know no different.
That's a generation.
And they're being taught differently, too. Some of them are being purposely taught
absolutely
that it was our fault, it was this.
Right. And when you think about it, from kindergarten to high school is 12 years. We've been at this 18. Yeah. We've been at this for one whole plus a half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And as the father of a couple of kids, teenagers, I go to the high school football games around town, as you know, and I look at these young boys and young men who are graduating, and some of them are going to serve this nation in some pretty dangerous places around the world. We owe it to them, as moms and dads, even as just concerned citizens, and we need to contribute to this effort to reunite them with their families. Because Mike, you hear story after story after story about, I got to go home and see my mom and dad. I don't know if my grandma's going to be around much longer. I want to get back there and see her. Or they came to see me when I was at the Balboa Naval Hospital. That's hugely important because you're giving people not just a memory, you're giving people hope on both ends of that equation.
Yeah, the both ends. Every year I forget about this until a couple hours in and someone reminds me it's for the moms and dads too.
Exactly.
It's for the brothers too.
Yep.
It's for their healing.
That's right.
Because their baby boy, mom and dad's baby boy, their son is in Balboa Medical Hospital, and he's been there for 2 years, and we haven't been able to go see him.
That's right.
And he hasn't been able to leave the hospital until finally he can do it, and we're going to surprise mom for Christmas.
Exactly.
And he's going to come home. What are you talking about? Listen, we've all seen those videos of the soldier coming home, and there's two kinds. You have the animal kind, where they come home and the dog freaks out, because they haven't seen him for the deployment. And then you have the surprise kid, where they're at their kid's high school basketball game and they're hiding in a box or whatever, and they pop out of the box and the kids come running or they turn around. Whatever, we all say that. And it's amazing, you can't help but cry. Whatever. You're giving that gift. That's what you're doing.
That's right.
That's what you're giving right now.
That's right.
You're making that happen for a family that did not expect that to happen.
You are giving families the remember when. Dad.
Remember Christmas 2019?
I mean, that's it. And you can do this. I mean, you have the power to do it just by contributing to Warrior Foundation Freedom Station, to the Radiothon here, because what your dollars will do is make that possible for a sailor, a Marine, for the folks that are going to get to go home and see their families, or their families are going to get to come and see them at 800-760-KFMB, 800-760-5362. 976 right now.
Nancy gave $1,000. Thank you, Nancy.
Good. Some of our reindeer are idle right now.
That's right. Let's put them to work
here, others
folks.
are busy. We got about half of them working the phones right now. Some are having snacks, and you want them to be nimble for Christmas Eve.
Listen, Brett, you mentioned.
There you go. $1,000.
Brett, you mentioned.
Every time you hear that ring, that's another $1,000, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I want to try an experiment.
And an angel gets his wings?
There is I'm going to try an experiment. So there's somebody in row 2, phone 3. I want you to ring their phone right now. Call 800-760.
That's the 8th ticket. That's the 8th position.
800-760-5362. Let's make that phone ring. See, you did.
We need two more. We need two more
make
rings.
Make another one.
Get it all up there.
Every phone's full except for this.
This is really great. Just make that other one ring right there. That guy's.
You don't want to be sad if you're a reindeer. They're sitting there looking like left out.
like Rudolph. You don't want to be Rudolph.
Yeah.
Brett, you mentioned.
Yes, sir.
All the other reindeer into their games on the phone.
You mentioned Esther. So I never met Esther before. She lives at Freedom Station.
Yes.
I never met her. First time. She was so nervous. And then she started talking about her grandmama, as she's called. And last year, you flew her home. She has Alzheimer's. So this is that was the last Christmas, last chance when she knew her granddaughter, who, by the way, her dad served for 20 plus years. Sure. And it's a whole family thing for these guys, for this family. And this Christmas, everyone knows is going to be the last Christmas. Yep. So I don't know who you imagine you're giving this gift to. Yep. But if you're on the fence about it, it could go to worse people than Esther to get home with her family and see her and she just started bawling because here's why. The reason her and her grandma are so close is her grandma helped raise her when her dad was deployed. Wow. And away for 20 years.
It's a powerful circle here, and these are folks who are not used to asking for stuff.
Yes, sure.
Okay, these are people who are selfless.
You're right. She never asked. You're right. She never said. Oh, you're so right. For 9 years of doing this, no one's ever said, "Give money so I can go home."
No, it's always other people.
It's so my brother can go. So these people. Right. It's this general kind of.
Which is what Sandy Lemcooler found out when she was at what was then Balboa Naval Hospital.
Yep.
And saying, hey, what do you guys need? Oh, no, we don't need anything. Then she pressed it, and come on, who could say no to Sandy? And then they say, well, what we need, and it's like they had all the specs for the Remington, self-lubricating razor, and it's like, now that you ask, and then she gets the job done, needs $30,000, raises $68,000 in 45 minutes on this very radio station, and that took us from there because she cared enough to do something and heard a need, and didn't just go, oh, I guess you don't need anything, thanks, bye. She pressed and kind of said, okay, what do you really need? Right. It's like when you ask a friend, how are you doing? And they say, fine. And then you say, no, how are you really doing? And all of a sudden, wow, I didn't see that coming. That's what happened. So thank God that Sandy was tenacious on that. Would this have happened? Maybe some other, but not this way, not the way that she brought it. Absolutely. And still, I don't know any more tireless individual other than Sandy Lemcooler. Talk about a strong woman, Navy wife, husband's deployed, just gets it done. And now we've raised more than $18 million in those 15 years, starting right here, because you see a need, you fill it. But no, the heroes are never going to call themselves heroes. No, we know they are, and we get a chance to call them that and honor them, and nothing better than sending them home for the holidays, which is what they were able to do that first time because they raised more money than. It's like, well, we needed 30,000 of the raisers. What do we do with the other 38? Right. And started working. And again, this isn't like you go to the app. Let's say you go on Southwest Airlines and you just buy a ticket, cheap as you can find it, ticket and go. Right. It's more logistically challenged because these people are in various states of injuries and therapy.
And all over the world.
All over the place. And you have to get all the clearances because the military. That takes a long time. I know that Greg Martin, Colonel Martin mentioned, he's the president now of the organization, but he was on the other side and knowing how to facilitate that. It takes time. You can't say, oh, we got more money in on Christmas Eve, so now we'll move them tomorrow morning. It's not that simple. So the more we get in today, it's why this Radiothon date is here. It's on this date for a reason, because for planning purposes, it really helps. I know Sandy looks at this every time we roll a new total. She gets teary-eyed to see what the people are doing. It's not about the organization or about us. We get to be facilitators here and help you just take a moment to say, I guess I could do something. Think about all the stuff that we do that's like, $20 here, $30 there, whatever. Right. And the difference you can make with 20 here or 30 or 50 or 100 or whatever you're able to give. And it's the year end, people start saying, I need to do more tax deductible donations. Sure. This is a great way to do it and know exactly where it's going. This isn't some mystery. That's I don't want to take away from national and international charities. There's a lot of great charities out there, but this one, when you want to get the job done.
That's right.
Warrior Foundation Freedom Station gets the job done.
Absolutely.
800-760-KFMB, 800-760-5362.
This is in the last minute online.
Or 760KFMB.com.
Marsha Kaufman, 250. Donald Dresselhaus, 250. Wow. Dan Altillo, 25. Louis Torbett, 100. Bill and Karen McDonald, 1,000. Mark Carey, 50. So that's.
I think that's the last cowbell we heard was their 1,000.
Yeah, so it's $1,600 in a minute.
Unbelievable. I mean, the generosity.
It's online in 1 minute. $1,600.
Wouldn't it be fun to just get enough going that we had enough $1,000 donations that we'd have multiple cowbells ringing.
Like we had a bell
Beautiful.
corral. Like a
Yeah.
corral.
I mean, it's not silver bells, but we'd sing along with it.
That would be
maybe.
wonderful, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, Mark, you raised and it's a very important thing to remember. People who work for some of the great companies here in San Diego and environs, okay, who are listening to this, there are corporate match programs out there that they'll match you 50% or dollar for dollar or whatever it's going to be.
bet.
And that is hugely important. You can take advantage of that as well. You're multiplying what your donation is. I remember, Mike, over the number of years that we've been doing this together, I've been here for, 4 or 5 years. The thing that I remember the most was the man who donated money in the name of his best friend who he lost in Vietnam. And his best friend, they had served together, and he had lost. He had lost his best friend, and he said because he didn't come home, as you were saying about the colonel, I'm going to stand up for him, and I'm going to remember his sacrifice.
Man, you can't get better than that. We talked to Jesse. Haven't talked to Jesse in a couple of years, and he was in his tank or vehicle, whatever it was,
right,
in Afghanistan, and it blew up.
Yeah.
And everyone died, except for him.
Unbelievable.
He's the one guy who survived. So imagine that. I mean, every day he's going to be thinking about that. And these guys, when they get injured, they think they failed.
Right.
So he considers himself a failure for having lived. Right? He's a failure.
That says so much about every generation where you step up and do courageous things.
Yeah.
It's
true. So I bring all that up right now. You say that because he's going to live with that his whole life.
Yep.
And so did this man who gave in honor of a fallen brother. Mm-hmm. And they'll think about him forever. Mm-hmm. And what a great reason to donate. And even if you're not in that situation, you can donate in memory and honor of Jesse's 5 brothers, who he thinks about every single day. Right. It's that simple.
Absolutely. You also can donate in the name of a grandfather, an uncle, your father.
We all have that. We all know someone.
Maybe your child is deployed.
There's another thing, too. We had some tragic things happen today in Pensacola.
Absolutely.
We had that happen over at Pearl Harbor the other day. Pearl Harbor Day is tomorrow.
That's right.
A lot of times when you see something in the news, and that may actually cause you to say, you may not know anybody in your family, right. Maybe you haven't met a member of the military, but you consume the news differently if you get involved in a different way. And I'll give you an example. Joan Kroc, who was a friend of ours, many of us here, there's a big benefactor in McDonald's and Padres owner and all that. I still remember the day back in, I want to say this is probably in the late 80s, early 90s, talking with her one day, said, check in. We were just friends. And she said, you know what? I've decided that I'm not going to do this. Is ironic because she gave, when she passed away, she gave like $1 billion plus to the Salvation Army.
Sure.
But she said, I'm tired of people asking me for the big, multi-million-dollar gift. She said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start reading the news and I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to surprise people who don't know that. So from that day, I think the first, if I remember right, I think she had like $50,000. She had her secretary assistant Nancy at the office in La Jolla send like $50,000 to the family of Ryan White, the kid with the AIDS.
With AIDS.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
And that was when, in those times, it was a whole big thing. Mm-hmm. He was getting bullied and everything else. Later on, when the floods happened in Fargo, she was the anonymous donor till somebody squealed and said, well, you know what it is, it's Joan Kroc. But she started, the lesson is she started watching the news, reading the news and all that, and she'd go, hey, so you could do that. You could say, there's a member of the military, or there's a family. There are a few families tonight grieving over what happened in Pensacola today.
Absolutely.
At the Naval Air Station. And maybe you do it to honor them, to honor those who thought they'd be home tonight and won't be.
Right.
You can always find some way to do that. So whatever it is, and you'll watch the news differently when it comes to things of the military, all right? So call 800-760-KFMB. Donate what you can. It's so easy. It takes just a few moments to do that. 800-760-5362 or go to 760kfmb.com. These numbers are amazing. We're at 9, and I'm not saying this to say stop.
No.
We're trying to get to $1 million by 6 o'clock.
More, yes.
But we're at $978,628. Last year when I came on this morning at 10, Armstrong and Getty, of course we've all been talking about this, but they did some heavy lifting since Monday.
Right.
And you remember last year, about 10 in the morning, I think it was a little over $400,000. And we were right at $700,000. It's
amazing.
What just happened here? And it has kept on today. I went off for a lunch meeting. I come back and we're past 900,000. Obviously, Brett, you did a lot of heavy lifting when we were away. But what this says about our community, everybody's busy. It's a Friday.
Absolutely.
Everybody is something. The traffic stinks. The weather stinks. Whatever. Everybody has something. You got a shorter Christmas shopping season. People are taking time to do this, to make differences and touch lives in ways you will never fully know until one day, maybe years down the line, and say, you know what, I benefited from Warrior Foundation Freedom Station. And you say, well, we gave to that once. And they'll say thank you, because it makes a difference. It's tremendous, the work going on. 800-760-KFMB, 800-760-5362, or 760kfmb.com. Thank you.
Running out of time here, Brett.
Well, yeah, we are. But you got the clock is ticking. We got about an hour left. Here, let me tell you how fortuitous it is that we're having this today. Okay, this is very interesting. On the calendar in the Catholic Church, do you know what today is? Today is the Feast of St. Nicholas, as in St. Nick. Yeah. St. Nicholas was a 4th century bishop in the East.
Real person.
And he,
there's another $1,000 right there. Thank you.
And he dedicated his life to charity for those less fortunate than him. That was his mission, to help the poor. What a perfect day to make that sort of a contribution in time for the Christmas holidays on the Feast of St. Nicholas, if you're somebody who's inclined to do that. It is really what defines us. You know, we heard a lot in the political realm here, Mike and Mark, in the last couple of days about the founding fathers and all the rhetoric and all the rhetorical
battles. It's been refreshing when some members of Congress discovered the Constitution.
Well, it is.
A couple of days.
But you know, as de Tocqueville noted, we are a good people. We are a good country because we are a kind country. We are a just country. We strive for justice, but we're also unbelievably generous. Anytime anything bad happens in the world, we're the first there. Whether you're a foe or a friend, we'll show up and help you out. We are incredibly generous and charitable as a people in this country. And there's another $1,000 right there.
All right.
I mean, and that is what you got to remember, folks. You have it in you. And when you look at what's been donated relative to the number of donors, it's staggering.
Yeah.
It is staggering.
5,292 donors, individuals. We're now $21,000 away from $1 million.
That's right. And those are people, every one of them, affirmatively decided to pick up a phone or get on the computer and make a donation. And you can be a part of that, folks, at 800-760-KFMB, 800-760-5362. Let's see if we can get row 2, number 4 ringing. Let's get that one ringing. I think somebody can make that phone ring right now. And don't just call and say hello.
And we know, by the way, those of you waiting for dramatic, I'll call in at the last moment. We know. We love you people very much.
Of course we do.
It gives us high blood pressure when you do that.
That's
we don't want to blow the phone lines out. So please call now, because we don't want to these reindeer over here. We actual reindeer. At least they're wearing the proper garb.
That's correct.
They've been just coffee and hot cocoa and sugar cookies all day. So I mean, we just don't want to blow out a carotid artery here or something. So with excitement. So call now.
Yeah. Beat the rush.
Care for the animals.
Beat the rush. Plenty of good seats still available.
800-760-KFMB, 800-760-5362. Call right now. It takes just a couple of moments. At the same time, you go to 760kfmb.com. You can see the live streaming on Facebook as well. You can click to donate there as well, and you can see the donations coming in. That's so much fun to watch that kind of that ticker going on.
I got to shout somebody out who's known to all of us. Doug from Hamul.
Doug from Hamul.
He likes the Star Spangled jacket and my cool glasses, and I'm sure he's given to the cause as well, which is so good.
Doug gives a lot in the community.
This is when you want to come forward. There we go.
$1,000.
All right.
Yeah. Now, if you say I can't give $1,000, well, we'll ring an honorary cowbell silently for you.
Listen, that was the Larson effect, because with the delay, that was your pitch just a moment ago saying,
"Wow,
don't jam it up at the end."
It's like an out-of-body experience. If I knew what that was.
Mike, taking a look at the online roll call here, how are we looking? I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? The numbers that are coming.
Well, it's cool to see people these groupings of people who give every minute. Right. So in this 1 minute, 5 people gave.
Right.
And within this minute, 6 people gave. Right. And so you can see the money that's coming in per minute, which is cool. You're not alone. That's the thing. You're not. And this is one reason why I love News, Views, and Brews so much, right?
Right.
You get to be around people and you go we're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing when you're giving to Warrior Foundation. You're not alone in this, and that's empowering. It's not. It doesn't discourage me. It's not like other people are doing it. It's like no, we're all doing this together. I get it. I'm a part of people who get it.
Yeah,
that's empowering.
It's incredible. Here, the other thing to kind of keep in mind too, and I think we'd be remiss if we didn't remember this, is that you always hear people say somebody should do something, Mike. Well, do something. Do it. You are the somebody.
So we've heard of this. We've all done this or wanted to be in the situation where you go out to dinner and you see a group of veterans or a group of service members. You pay for the bill, right?
Pay it forward.
Maybe you've never been in that situation. Maybe you've never been to a restaurant and seen that, or maybe one time you did and you hesitated and you didn't do it, and you're like, you regret it. Well, here it is.
Here
it's
it
right
is.
there. There's your chips.
Absolutely.
There's a plane ticket home for these guys who so deserve it. So deserve it.
All right, we have an hour left. We have an hour left to change people's lives.
Mike and I are going to start doing Christmas duets.
This is going to be a
unless
amazing
you call
thing.
now.
Mark Larson is festooned, and Mike is festooned, and I'm festooned, and we're ready to go.
You win the festooning.
I
You can see it on. You go over to Facebook at AM 760 KFMB.
We got big stuff straight ahead here. What's that phone number again, boys?
Left.
We're about $19,000 and change away from hitting $1 million.
Come on, you can
do
get
it.
us.
Come on,
You're gonna put us over the top
800-760 KFMB, 800-760-5362 or 760KFMB.com.
Here's a reminder, when you need to know, This is AM 760's Warrior Foundation Freedom Station Radiothon. Help send a warrior home for the holidays. Call now, 800-760-5362. 800-760-KFMB.
Hey, I'm standing for this segment, or the opening of this segment. Here comes Mark Larson up to the stage. Here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the final hour of our Warrior Foundation Freedom Station.
Yes, it is. We have to stand up the whole time?
No. I just wanted to stretch my legs a little bit. Mark Larson's joining me. I am Brett Witterbull, and you have been amazing so far, folks. $981,703, $981,703 up there on the tote board. 5,310 donors.
That is phenomenal.
It's amazing.
You know, people say, well, I don't know, on this day of all the new media and everything, we're using all new media. We're on all the different platforms. You go to Facebook at AM 760 KFMB. You can watch this. You can see us here creating this in the studio here in Studio A. We have News 8. We have 100.7 San Diego. Our whole team effort here. But the essence of this is AM 760. We've driven this since day one. And I know all of us are so proud to work at a place where not only we can do this, but we get this done. With San Diego doing this, we become the facilitators. It's not so much of what we do.
Yes.
But when people say, yeah, nobody listens to AM radio anymore, you go, well, okay, right now I'm looking at $982,153 raised right here this week. And we're getting to the point now where about half of that is from today since 10 a.m. and everything before that with Armstrong and Getty.
That's right.
Priming the pump in the morning. They were feeling a little bit like, well, we had a goal by Friday of hitting $500,000 by the morning on Friday. And they thought, well, we're a little short. And then they hit that at about 8 this morning. And it's just been ever since, every hour. Every time we glance, there's a new number there. And we're just that close. We're just about a little short of 18,000 short of $1 million right now. That's our goal by 6 p.m. With your help, we're going to do it. So call 760 KFMB. Just the number to call is 800-760 KFMB, 1-800-760-5362. Or you can go online to 760kfmb.com, 760kfmb.com, and you can see the streaming there as well. That's an easy way to watch what's going on here. So you can see these gentlemen seated between us here, Brett.
Correct. That is absolutely right. And we are joined by
Jesse
and
Junior.
We got Jesse and Junior.
Junior's a veteron of this stuff. They're veterans, and he's a veteran of working with us. Junior's a legend.
It is wonderful to have you here today. We appreciate you being here. Obviously, we appreciate your service so much to what you've given to our nation. Let me just get your sense here, Jesse, out of the box. How you feeling today, knowing what's happening here and what this is going to translate to for so many?
Honestly, I feel like it's pretty, an amazing thing. I've worked with Sandy and Warrior Foundation for a really long time, and I support everything that they do. And they're family to me, so.
Yeah, it's a remarkable thing. People always say we appreciate your service and we celebrate and honor what you've done. But this is where the real rubber meets the road because we're going to change lives today.
Yeah. This is my second, third time being to one of these, so it's always a great event.
We always like when you guys come by and hang out, and it's so wonderful to spend time with you. Junior over here, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you?
It's good, man. This is like the fourth or fifth time that you and I have gotten to hang out. I'm always happy when I see.
What
you
are
guys
you wearing, Junior? Is that a Super Bowl ring? What is it? That's
our national championship ring.
That is a hardy ring. That's like a manhole cover, man. It makes a statement. The statement is Larson behaved because he's right there with the ring. That's what the statement is. There's $1,000 again. Here
Another $1,000.
Nicely done.
One step closer.
Listen, we want to make these bells ring for the next hour. This is going to be unbelievable. We are within eyesight of $1 million, folks.
We are,
and we're gonna get there. We are going to get there. We are going to get there. Another $1,000. Unbelievable.
So, Junior, about your story, because a lot of people say, well, we know Junior, but a lot of people are tuning in, maybe the first time, saying, what is this? What are you people doing? It's the AM 760 Warrior Foundation Freedom Station fundraiser. Our big goal today is to send our heroes home for the holidays. And, Junior, tell us your story.
Well, my story is I ended up at Balboa after an injury, and I was there for 2.5 years. And
2.5 years?
2.5 years.
You're so used to saying that. 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
But it actually goes by really quick, believe it or not.
The Naval Hospital, oh man.
But my story kind of starts at the end of all that. I had a suicide attempt after my end. after I was told that I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress, and after my suicide attempt, and after I recovered from that, that's where I met Sandy and Judy, and forever changed my life. I've been with Warrior Foundation since 2015.
Wow.
Do you remember the first when you met them? And you're just kind of assessing. Do you remember something from that conversation that really just maybe encouraged you or set a little light bulb off in your head? Or?
So the first time I really got introduced to to Warrior Foundation was actually when I was an inpatient at the hospital. I wasn't the happiest person.
Sure.
I guess you could say I was the Grinch, especially during the holidays.
Very festive, yeah.
Especially during the holidays, I was very angry, and I went outside my door and I was like, "Who made it explode Christmas?" I mean, there was just
well, you were in a humbug mode, and understandably,
of course.
Yeah,
you
went through
who
some
made
stuff.
it explode, literally Christmas. And
That's
I'm
awesome.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So a couple of months went by, and my suicide attempt and everything. And one day, my recovery care coordinator said, "Hey, I think there's a group that you might want to meet."
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So they actually sent my story to Sandy, and believe it or not, the rest of my care team told Sandy, "Don't take him.
Wow.
He's angry. He's unrecoverable. He's not gonna make it.
No.
He's gonna be a deterrent." And they actually told Sandy, "Don't do it."
Wow.
And they told Judy, "This is gonna be a mistake. He's gonna crash and burn."
Mm-hmm.
Well, Sandy's kind of
Persuasive?
no. Sandy's a very very stubborn,
Determined?
very
Assertive?
headstrong
Yes, there's that.
woman.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Bring him." And they were like, "What?" They're like, "Bring him." So I got medically retired, and a day later, Sandy was literally at the gate waiting for me, and she's like, "I've got a place for you, and we're gonna help you out."
And that's how she rolls. Sandy Lemkuhler, who founded this, and we've talked about this often, but there's always somebody hearing this for the first time. Navy wife decides is going to what was then Balboa Naval Hospital, has a new name now, bigger facility and all that, but a phenomenal place.
Another $1,000.
And she took that as a what if we do something, took that to the next level. Well, we are so close. We're at $998,715 with that last donation.
Let me.
Wow.
We are at $998,715. Now listen, I want to paint a picture for somebody at the at home right now. Mike Slater's on the phones.
He's on line one, isn't he?
So if you actually call in
800-760 KFMB. If you call right now, you'll get Mike Slater.
Now don't call and talk to him about the headlines. Call and make a donation.
Yeah.
We are at $998,715. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an unbelievable thing that you are doing, and we want that phone.
Watch this right now. It's
800.
Call right now. Mike Slater he's on the first line. Other people are on the back lines, but his line's open now. 800-760 KFMB. 1-800-760-5362. Call and talk to Mike. There's no extra charge. He won't charge you a talent fee or anything.
We're at $998,715. You can put us over.
That's
Pick up that phone and dial.
At 760KFMB.com. I mean, somebody could come in right now with $1,300 and put us over.
That's absolutely right.
And that doesn't mean we're then going to say, thanks, good night, everybody. We're going to keep milking this baby as long as we can because there's so much need. We don't want to turn anybody away.
He just got a phone call.
Mike just got a call.
Uh-huh.
It's his wife, Stephanie, calling.
Can you remember to pick up bread on the way home?
And some milk.
And some milk.
Don't forget the milk.
Jesse, let me ask you. Tell me a little bit about your story and your experience with the Warrior Foundation.
Yeah, so I was with 2nd Battalion, 3rd Marines, stationed out of Hawaii. I deployed to Afghanistan in early 2009, and was blown up in August of 2009. Basically, we're on a mission trying to save our sister platoon, and we hit an IED, and I got launched kind of out of the turret because I was a machine gunner. Kind of launched me out of the turret and landed back on the Humvee. And my staff sergeant who was in the vehicle behind me saved my life and killed all my buddies and lost 12 Marines there. Wow. And so coming back from that, I was not a very happy person. I was just trying to numb it. So I kind of got addicted to my pain meds.
Another $1,000.
And,
$9,999.
you come home and you just feel lost and without a purpose. And the first time I met Sandy and at Warrior Foundation was in late of 2009. And I always say this, what they do with the Freedom Station is a great thing, but what really stands out to me is that they're there every single day with us at the hospital, not just giving us stuff, but they just genuinely want to know how we are doing. And
Right.
I work with very few foundations, but Sandy is definitely, Warrior Foundation is something that I definitely support.
We are thrilled and honored to have you here today, especially
That's for sure.
at this moment. And folks, you can do so much good by calling at 800-760-KFMB, 800-760-5362. We are really within eyeshot of the $1 million mark. Any one of your phone calls could go a long way to putting us over.
$990,000.
We're at $999, $790.
$210 away.
I mean, $210 away from $1 million. This is historic. What you're seeing happen here, folks.
And in the tradition of this whole effort here, remember when Sandy did the first one of these?
That's
and
right.
He came to KFMB and right here on AM 760 was going to raise $30,000 to buy all these razors that these wounded heroes needed. And then they hit the 30, and in 45 minutes, they actually got the $68,000. So then that started the Home for the Holidays, sending our heroes home. Said, well, we got all this surplus. What are we going to do? So the more we get here, the more needs we can meet, the more we can get people home for the holidays, can restore families, can do so much good. Mm-hmm. And you can take a piece of this, whatever. I love seeing these donations at $10, $15, $20. Yeah, unusual amounts. So, of course, Pearl Harbor Day tomorrow. We talked about the donation earlier. That was 120741 for 12/7/1941.
Absolutely.
$1,207.41.
I have a friend's son that's 10 years old. He donated his $100.
Nice.
Wow, that is
nice.
So,
Really nice. And again, this is not coming from just, we have big donors and small donors, and everything has impact. And we went over the $500,000 mark this morning because of a $22 donation.
That's right.
Now we're sitting here just a little bit away from $1 million. We're going to keep on going to get as much as we can to help send our heroes home for the holidays, to help support Freedom Station 2, and the great work that goes on with Warrior Foundation, Freedom Station, year-round. I'm looking at this menu that we're kind of staring at here, the kinds of things that they do.
Warrior
Warrior
Foundation got me here today. I mean,
Yeah, see?
they bought me a plane ticket here, so.
There it is.
That's so awesome.
But look at this, $25, high-quality pillows and pillowcases for the hospital. Backpack and gym bag, $35.
Yep.
Yeah, this is where these types of amounts, maybe you hear an amount that, well, there's like, I could do that. Holiday gift and apparel bundles per
We're $10
warrior,
away.
$170. $10, we're at $999. $99.
who's going to be the $10?
Zero.
Who's going to be that $10?
Gonna call in and hit that $10 right now.
$5,700 gets
There it
a
is.
basketball wheelchair for our injured warriors.
It's
And,
unbelievable.
and that whole thing, the wheelchair basketball, that's a big deal, isn't it,
It
Junior?
is. It is.
watched
I'm
you guys
actually
do
the. I'm very fortunate enough to be the assistant program director for the Wolfpack wheelchair basketball team.
You guys are so well. It's why you have that enormous ring that's still
It
looking at
is.
me like, don't mess with me.
That's the Larson Be Good ring.
That's exactly what that is, yeah.
I am very blessed. They are truly my heroes, and they're an amazing group.
All right, watch it. Here we go. Oh, we just turned the tote board over here. It's so far, there's 5,324 individual donors here. Made this happen. Sandy says we just got a $5,000 donation is being processed in there right now.
That's
so
right.
this, and again, call 800-760-KFMB.
So we should have a rollover here.
800-760-5362.
I mean,
760KFMB.com.
ladies and gentlemen, I mean, this is it is literally electric in this room right now. I mean,
It is.
it is. You can feel the energy.
We're going to need smelling salts for Sandy again because she's.
There it is.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. $1 million. $1,750,000. Unbelievable.
Never had so much fun with numbers in our lives.
Okay, so
$1,750,000. We had hoped and prayed for $1 million by 6 p.m. Let the record show it's 5:21.
That's right.
And we're not stopping here.
shout out to Dr. Chip Splinter, U.S. Navy.
Yep.
Put the 5,000 in that took us over.
Beautiful. That is a name. It almost sounds like a stage name. That's the real person.
That's the name.
I know of him.
And
Yeah. Great.
it's so fitting that somebody who helps mend these wounded
Look
warriors.
at that. That is
Is able to send them home, to help us send them home, which is an amazing thing. Ladies and gentlemen, it is literally electric in this room right now. Do not stop dialing. Let's see how far we can go. Let's see. Every dollar that comes in is going to go to that cause.
Go to 760kfmb.com now. You can donate right there. You can see some of the donations. You could also see the live stream here. We have it up on Facebook at the AM 760 KFMB Facebook portal as well, and see what's happening here in the room. It is a fun thing. Nothing says the spirit of the Christmas season more than what we're doing here.
That's right.
And transform lives. I just sit here looking at Junior with his...
And we got Jesse and we got
all those
Junior.
low points, and they're just sitting here smiling. You are just... What a great guy. And
you don't realize what $1 million does in a year. How many veterans we're going to help.
Oh, man.
How
and
many
what's
wounded,
happening?
injured, and ill.
Yeah, what's happening at Freedom Station, too. We talked earlier about how a lot of, some of the best organizations sometimes say, well, here's our goal and keep giving, and one day we'll build this or that.
Right.
We were talking 2 years ago, maybe we could get to Freedom Station 2 and expand it. Now that's happening.
All the permits have been
that was the announcement today. We're talking about how difficult it was. I mean, a lot of progress since last year, so it's not like it sits and waits to the next Radiothon. But the permits all came together. It's like the planets aligning, and thank God it all came together. People still coming in at 1,000,002 right now.
Yeah.
We're at 1,002,285. Call 800-760-KFMB. Thank you so much. Keep going. A lot of people have a hard time getting through. The phones are pretty jammed up right now, too. 760kfmb.com is a great place to go and get this done directly. Hey, the traffic's bad this time of day. Pull off somewhere.
That's right.
You'll still be home at the same time. So do your part.
And to everybody who's listening on the app, who's listening on the stream, who's participating, we so much appreciate those that have given so much out of their pockets to help those who have given so much to help keep us safe and keep us free and send them home for the holidays. This is a collaborative effort, folks. This is a collaborative effort across not just 760, but also 100.7 and also, of course, CBS 8.
This is AM 760 Talking Breaking News. I have breaking news.
Yes, sir.
We have a matching grant. Every dollar between now and 6 p.m. will be matched.
Every dollar.
You give $10, it's worth $20. Now, you're not going to get the tax deductible thing, but
That's right.
so don't go that far. But if you give $100, that triggers from our matching donor
$100.
another $100. You give $1,000, that's going to have the impact of $2,000, and just mix and match any way you like. So call 800-760-KFMB, 800-760-5362, or go to 760kfmb.com. and donate there. But from now on through 6 p.m. now, every dollar will be matched by our donor match.
Unbelievable. We call that's a force multiplier, right? That's
that
a
is
dollar
a force
multiplier.
We need our quantum physics guy, Brian, back to talk.
That's the quantum physics guy.
That's it.
I barely passed math.
I'm using the calculator on my phone.
So let's talk about it, and it's important to remember what our mission here is with this Radiothon, and that is to send these warriors home to be with their families. But it's also a gift to those families who receive them back or get to come and see them, right?
It definitely is.
Talk about the importance of. I mean, we all know how important family is this time of year, but especially for this group of men and women who are mending and coming back from injury.
Yeah. Being at the hospital is depressing.
Yeah,
I mean.
sucks.
It's mundane.
And you were there 2.5 years. That's not to take away from the great men and women who worked there, but just think about it.
I was there for 2 Christmases.
We're talking to Jim Benninger earlier. He was in Vietnam.
2.5 years too.
He was in the Hanoi Hilton for like 3 years.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
couldn't
a
even
lot
imagine
of
what he
time.
went through.
How long were you in the hospital?
I was there 2.5 years also.
2.5 years.
From 2009 to 2012.
Yeah.
But I think for us, like, we're warriors, you know what I mean? This is what we do. We're America. We love what we do. It's not a job for us. It's a lifestyle. And it's super hard. I think it's more harder on the families than it is for us. So us being able to go home and kind of spend time with them and see them is, a great thing. And it's us. I mean, it's us. This is what we do. But for them,
Another $1,000.
they don't really understand it. But they still want to support us. So,
What did you most look forward to when you went home?
It's another $1,000. Every cowbell. There you go.
I guess I know seeing your family, but was there something that like you were like, I am stoked to do this or to see this?
Nah, I think just seeing my family. I mean, Cause I don't really go home too much anyway, so
Yeah.
maybe once a year, every couple of years or something. So just being able to go home and see them,
Sure thing.
means
I
a lot.
want to remind you, and it's the more you're talking, the more people are going, I want to help, I want to do that, I want to help. There's someone like you who is able to be here because of this kind of giving.
Yeah.
I'll remind you that last $1,000, in fact, I think the last two since we put on the matching challenge, that's worth $2,000. And I love, tapping the anonymous donors and like, oh, there's another 1,000, kick in your 1,000. That's 2,000 impact. That's pretty cool. So call 800-760 KFMB, 800-760-5362.
Yeah, Junior and Sandy, they actually flew me out from Arizona. Junior got me a scholarship to the University of Arizona.
All right.
Wow, that's great.
30-year-old freshman, but we're getting it done. And,
You're not the only one.
Right. So that's another reason why I'm here. So
And what are you studying at Arizona?
criminal justice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Good, you can start with Brad and me. We'll be your test case.
We want to find out if you can run us for warrants and make sure.
Nah.
No, just kidding.
We'll work on that.
Outstanding parking tickets.
Junior, talk about like what it was to be able to see your family. What you most looked forward to when you got that opportunity.
I'm from Texas. I'm a fat kid. Barbecue, real barbecue. I mean, a brisket, a real brisket, smoked.
Nice.
I mean,
it's the holidays, man. Of course. Right?
honestly, for me, it was. I'm Hispanic. We're a very close knit family.
Very family.
Yeah.
Very family oriented.
I mean, so just seeing my sisters. My dad was in the Air Force. My oldest sister was an Army officer.
Wow.
Biggest oxymoron. She was a military intelligence officer for the Army. So we won't hold that against her.
What are you trying to say?
But my brother-in-law was an Air Force officer.
Sure.
So,
That's great.
so I came from a military background, family. So just going home and knowing that I could actually see him.
See, this is all made possible by the donors who are coming through and matching those. Now we are matching dollar for dollar. You give 5, it's 10. You give 100, it's 200. You give 1,000, it's 2,000. And the board is continuing to move, and the phones are continuing to ring. It's so wonderful to watch this in real time at 800-760 KFMB.
Well, this is just kicking in. Look at that, $1,020,695. Just took another, $2,000 or
Like a
$3,000 jump. Just
Absolutely.
amazing.
It's
So,
phenomenal
so in
stuff.
other words, Brad, if someone were to give $5,000, that has the impact of 10.
10,000.
Am I following the math here right?
That's correct.
10,000 is like 20.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
we just double that right there.
So if somebody were to say, listen, it's been a big year, maybe some philanthropist type kind
right.
of, got $100,000.
Yep.
It's not
That'd be
unusual. Things.
$200,000.
That would be 200,000. See, these are smart people. We have juniors.
These are
No,
people
that's
who.
the smart guy.
Oh, you're
over
looking
there.
at the quantum physics.
quantum
right.
physics.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is it. That is absolutely right.
I'm just saying, there's anyway, but again, every bit, you look at these donors, everything you could tell is sacrificial. Sometimes odd-looking amounts where it looks like they just took as much extra change as you
That's
could.
right.
Like we're donating, and you go to a little Johnny and say,
Hey, we
got a
take
little
pennies."
bit. We'll take it. It all goes in there.
All right.
You're making the difference, sending our heroes home for the holidays.
All right, so we want you to make these phones ring right now, 800-760 KFMB, 800-760-5362, online at 760KFMB.com. We're going to slip in a news update. We'll come back. We'll be able to update the board again, I'm sure. Oh, listen, they're cheering, they're shouting, they're cheering, they're having a great time.
The biggest news is we're over $1 million, and
We're over $1
every
million.
dollar you give gets doubled right now.
That's right, so be generous. They'll be generous.
800-760 KFMB, 800-760-5362, or online. Easy to do. Takes a moment. Just go to 760KFMB.com.
AM 760's Warrior Foundation. Radiothon. Help send a warrior home for the holidays. Donate now. 800-760-KFMB.
It is our radiothon for Warrior Foundation Freedom Station, where we are doing incredible stuff here, folks. Just in the last, I don't know, what would you say, last 10 minutes, about the last 10 minutes, we crossed over the $1 million threshold, and we're at now $1,043,184.
Man, that's amazing.
Slater is on the board over here.
The phones are mostly busy right now.
The phones are busy. I see a lovely young lady in the back. I want to make her phone ring right now. At
Remember, we're doubling all the way up to 6 o'clock.
Doubling.
Whatever your donation is, our anonymous donor kicks in whatever that is, so it doubles the impact. You're the mechanism to release more of that money. You give $100, it's worth $200 because the other donor will kick in $100. I was just talking to one of our guys on the phone with the beautiful reindeer appendages on top of their heads. It's very festive. And he said, some people are saying things like, I want to give this donation now. In this case, it was a pretty big donation. I don't want to identify the donor because it's kind of but what the rest of the story was, I'm going to put the foundation, Warrior Foundation Freedom Station, in my will.
Wow.
And so you can do that. A lot of people do that. You give a gift now, and then you think about this kind of impact. What a legacy gift. Okay. Think about that.
What's his name?
So,
yeah.
So here's the thing: we're going to match dollar for dollar up to 60,000. So we got another 14,000 here to go. Right? Is my math correct there? I think it is.
Up to we know there's an end to that particular pot of
but you never
mutual.
know. You know, see, I was cryptic earlier, but you never know. You see, these good things happen, and we want to make the phones.
So
ring
it's up to $60,000 in matching money available, or up to 6 p.m. Whatever comes first. I'm just trying to mix. Where's our quantum physicist?
I don't have the disclaimer in front of me.
Where's Brian?
But you can call and donate right now at 800-760-KFMB. We'll send it over to Standards and Practices and have them review it.
We have Standards and Practices? Oh, that's just got to stop. I mean, come on.
760KFMB.com and, of course, 800-760-5362.
You can watch this right there online.
Watch. You could make this phone ring right now. There's a phone right there that could ring right now. It
looks like Slater's on a good phone call.
This is great. I see what is happening.
We verified that Slater's actually on a call. He said he looks good.
He is.
He's,
Mark, he is.
He's talking to the guy behind him?
but who's donating?
Why are you getting all the calls,
Who's
he says.
He's also giving his opinions on the news of the day, which is great. See if you
don't
call
and Slater, because Slater's in the #1 spot here in terms of all the different. He's first on the phone bank. So if they're cycling through, you could get Mike Slater. You'll know him with the distinctive Mike Slater delivery. But don't say, "Hey, so
That's right.
did I hear that Duncan D. Hunter is really resigning right after the holidays?" That's one of the breaking news stories today.
That's right.
He could talk about that.
Break it down for you.
But then it clogs the phone line. If you want to donate, now he'll talk to you. If you want to donate every few minutes as you're talking about the news of the day, and you say that'll be another. He'll start charging $100 a minute.
That's right.
Which would be matching.
One of those phones. Okay,
well,
here we go.
It could be worse.
Now, if you contribute a certain amount of money, you can call Mark Larson on his cell phone at.
I'm looking at right now at 760kfmb.com. Patrick, thank you for $250.
Wow,
Philip,
$100.
And this is all coming in right now. That was just a couple of minutes ago, so that has double the impact because the matching donor kicks in $250. You give $250, that's like a $500 impact. I mentioned Philip with $100. John with $100. Phil, $50. Walter Anderson Nursery, $500. Walter Anderson, they're already underwriting. They're already doing things. They kicked in $500 on top of what they've already done. Thank you to Walter Anderson Nursery very much. Bill, thank you for your $200 donation. Jack, $20. That's worth $40 because of the matching donation. Call 800-760-KFMB. 800-760-5362 right now, so we can really maximize your donation, your gift.
We got 7,000. Yeah. We got 7,000 left in the match, so that's what you.
Oh, that's what's okay. So here's Monica with $50.
They're still arguing.
The Rafani family, I believe it is, $500. Kurt, $100. Susan, $300. Thank you.
These are amazing numbers. Amazing.
$50 from an anonymous supporter. That's worth $100 with the extra kick in from the matching grant. John, $260. $50 from Susie. Call 800-760-KFMB. Right now, we still have about another $7,000 in the matching money available. So help us get through all of that. Give what you can, so we can. We don't leave some of that unused. We want to get that entire matching grant. So
that's exactly right.
800-760-KFMB. 1-800-760-5362 or go to 760kfmb.com. Brett Winterville. Brett's getting breaking news now. Sandy Lemcooler is here briefing Brett on the.
So we got.
There's 1,000 that's worth 2,000 right there. Nicely done.
Look at that, huh? This is a donation from Samuel R. Felix. It's in the name of Master Sergeant Vincent DePinto Jr. To Warrior Foundation Freedom Station Radiothon, and $150. $150 in memory of Master Sergeant Vincent DePinto Jr. And that's what it's all about, right? I'm sitting here, we got Jesse and we got Junior sitting here with us, keeping us company and sharing thoughts and stories. It's about paying it forward, isn't it? But it's also about remembering the folks behind that came up in generations, maybe even behind you.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it wasn't for those World War II, Korean, and Vietnam vets, we wouldn't be here.
It's an incredible thing. Jesse, your thought on that, about that legacy, the heritage, and the Marines who came before you and those folks.
Yeah. Yeah, like Junior said, we wouldn't be here without them, and I look up to those guys a whole lot. I got family that were in World War II and Vietnam, and so I mean, it's just
it's all about family.
Just for us to, it's our legacy, I guess.
It's got to be because we've talked to a number of different folks who've been sitting here today. You all are so unique because of what you do in terms of selfless service, which I know is your life, and that's the life you choose, and that's your passion, and that's what you do. But you all are not in the habit of asking for help or asking for send me home to see my family, and so it's up to us to understand and to deduce that is the right thing to do, because you shouldn't ever have to ask that. Right?
I mean, it's always most of us get in trouble because we don't ask for help.
There's another $1,000
Right.
worth $2,000 the matching
is.
grant. Nice. Thank you.
And so it's up to us to fill that need and anticipate, because
I mean, we're completely and utterly
Yeah.
gracious and thankful for
Yeah.
all the help that we get.
and imagine and you can imagine the smiles on those faces when they realize that they're going to get to go home or that their families are coming to see them.
It's definitely going to change them.
It's going to be unbelievable. The pictures, the Instagram, the Facebook posts, all the social media stuff that's going to go on. We have $1,056,865 on that board. So we have got, Mark, by my calculation, about 3,200 left
like that.
in matching money.
Yeah.
So if you were to call in right now and pledge, you could take us above that 60,000 mark, which is the matching fund.
Do you realize we're only, what would that be, roughly a little less than $44,000 away from making this a $1.1 million
That is correct.
effort so
That's
far.
a very and look, and that we can knock that out. We've got 18 minutes left this hour.
Yep.
We have 18 minutes left this hour. And I know that we're going to have more and more people wanting to donate online, and you will have that opportunity. We'll have that up for days and days
all the way
and days.
through the Christmas and up to New Year's. But we need to know now, because again, and that's all great, because that's going to help all the efforts of Warrior
Exactly.
Foundation, Freedom
Down the
Station.
road,
But in terms of getting our heroes home for the holidays, we got to get those tickets lined up. We got to get the logistics lined up, all
right.
the clearance and so forth.
That's
You can
right.
imagine how much of a job that is, getting our injured heroes either to the family or bringing families in here. There's all kinds
Absolutely
of different
right.
ways to do this. But that's why we need to get as much of this in today and now, and a little bit of that matching grant left here as well. When you call 800-760 KFMB, dollar for dollar match up to whatever's remaining in the pot at the moment here. And you do it even if you don't have the matching grant. It's tax deductible. 800-760 KFMB, 800-760-5362, or go to 760KFMB.com.
Mark, let me ask you, in terms of what we've seen from the folks here today, with their immense generosity. So, some of this has been driven by individuals, but we've also got amazing corporate partners and sponsors and people who are helping to put this thing together, in addition to companies that are donating as well. That's a hugely important part, because we are a very collaborative community.
Sure is. And the San Diego area
Yep.
is just, again, we talked about this earlier. It's sometimes easy to take for granted the military because we see so much of its presence at all the different branches here. Other parts of the country, people never see anybody in uniform. It's kind of
Right.
out of sight, out of mind, and the only way they see that is whatever's in the news. Today we think about what happened in Pensacola.
Yep.
There's any number of things that happen because, we're talking about the human race. Things happen. There's good and evil, and sometimes evil has a holiday for a little bit, and then good people step up and do things to offset that. This would be a great day to shine some sunshine into that kind of a story. Maybe you don't know anybody in the military. Think about that. Think about the families touched by what happened there today in that attack. On and on and on. So many reasons to do it. Pearl Harbor Day tomorrow. Remember some family members who have served.
That's right.
Maybe didn't make it back from war zones.
That's right.
Whatever, historically, go back in your family tree. That may be enough to give something in honor of a long-lost loved one who has a military connection.
That's absolutely right.
So call 800-760-KFMB, 1-800-760-5362. Donate what you can, and thank you so much, everybody who's been donating, and some donating again. And again, you look at all this, and we're in this political season. You can break this down when you look at 760KFMB.com. Right now, we're at $1,057,515. That's because of 5,367 individual donors.
That's right.
That is huge.
Huge.
If we were running a campaign for governor or something,
We'd
here
be
we go.
thrilled.
Look at all the donors there. Look at
Absolutely
the
right.
wide support. That says so much. And you can call right now, make a difference, send our heroes home for the holidays. 800-760-KFMB, 800-760-5362, or 760KFMB.com. Brett?
Jesse?
I think, something that's important that we should realize is, plane tickets are, really great for us to be able to go home and see our families. But what Sandy and Warrior Foundation do is more than something you can just buy. They're there every single day with us at the hospital. They provide us they give us food. They, they're just there emotionally. She's like a mom to all of us, and I think that's super important too. So.
It's an important thing because that you've built a community. You've got a community together there of brothers and sisters, perhaps that you can lean on here locally. And she's kind of like the head of that group.
Yep.
And when you look at that sacrifice that's been made by your brothers and sisters and by Sandy and all the other great families who have come before us, it's got to be reassuring to know that you've got this support system that's just there for you.
She's never given up on us. Mm-hmm. She, no matter how bad we are doing, or we're not feeling good, or even if we don't feel like talking to her one day, she doesn't give up on us. And that is something that you just can't buy or find. It's hard to come by.
That's for sure.
So.
And you also have that camaraderie with your brothers and sisters there as well that also help keep you accountable, working hard, moving forward, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Which is. And so much of that was what you enjoyed in your active life in the Marines. It's that brotherhood, right? And that's so. I would encourage anybody if you have served active, if you have served reserve, if you were in ROTC, if you had a connection to the military, maybe we have so many people that live in San Diego that were born in other countries and other places that may have benefited greatly by the sacrifice of the United States military.
Yep.
I mean, we are coming up on the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. We are coming up on the anniversary of the end of World War II. It's a remarkable thing. We are at another $1,000.
All right, that's great. I'm looking at some of the donors here in the last few minutes here at 760KFMB.com. Deborah, thank you for your $45. Dylan, $100. Vicky, $50. Thank you. Donaldson, I believe it is, $100. Jim, thank you for your $500 donation at 760KFMB.com. Diane, $10. Thank you. Everything makes a difference. Joseph, $45. David, $50. Luan, $500. Keith, $100. This is tremendous. People are just stepping up here down to the wire to our 6 o'clock deadline, although, again, you'll be able to continue donating through the Christmas season. But we need as much as we can get in now to get these trips planned and get our heroes home for the holidays. So please give what you can, your tax-deductible donation. Call right now, 800-760-KFMB. That's 800-760-5362, or go to 760KFMB.com. Fun stuff, huh, Brett?
Yeah, absolutely. We got 12 minutes left, about 11 minutes left in this hour. You definitely want to pick up that phone and smile and dial at 800-760-KFMB, 800-760-5362. You'll be greeted by some of the finest volunteers in America's finest city we have to offer, who've been here all day long, taking the phone calls. Think about it. These are $1 million people that are behind those phones.
That's right.
They have logged $1 million worth of donations. We are so close. Mark, we're what, $110 from?
Oh no, you got to carry the one. Carry
the 9.
They're close.
Quantum physics there. So we're getting very close to that $60,000 mark, and this is such a remarkable thing to watch. The electricity is still going in this.
The temptation is just to sit back here and watch this unfold.
It really
we have
is.
to do a radio show.
All right, we are at $1,060,085.
All right.
Now, we just hit the 60,000,
and it's 5:49.
So guess what?
What?
That's an incomplete number. We got to add $60,000 to that.
Yet.
That's it. Let's add that $60,000 onto that board. All right, let's get that math
You
going.
got to roll that in there.
Bust out that
we checked that
abacus
with Brian with his number expertise.
Hey, Brian, where's Brian? With,
So here we go.
There you go.
Look at that.
1.1 million. $1,120,085 because we kicked in the matching number. Thank you to our anonymous donor. We took all the money out of the kitty to send our heroes home for the holidays. And great job, San Diego area, for stepping up so that there'd be nothing left in the available till there. So that was great.
I mean, this is incredible. Okay, $1,120,000. $1,120,085. 5,374 donors. I mean, this is an incredible thing. Let's keep these phones ringing. Let's see what we can do here, folks. At 800-760-KFMB, 800-760-5362. You don't want to be left out. You want to be one of the people that gets to sit around the holiday table this month and say, hey, I was part of that $1 million effort.
That's right.
That's what I was part of there.
And when you're enjoying the holiday season, enjoying Christmas time, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, think about when you're having a part in this.
That's right.
And to know that you have helped send heroes home for the holidays
Absolutely.
when you're enjoying it. What a great thing to just make Christmas even more meaningful, for example.
And here's the thing. This is an effort to help people right here in San Diego and connected in the community. I mean, this is $1,123,212. This is. I mean, look at this. We've got what do we got? About 9 minutes left. We got about 9 minutes left, Mark Larson.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to say a few words as we enter our final 9 minutes?
In addition to great appreciation for what people have been doing and all the people behind the scenes, from our technical crew putting all this together so we could just come in here and just yak all day long and facilitate and to be all giving, but to make sure that the whole technical plant works well. There's so much logistically that has to go on here in Studio A, and you can see that if you go to 760kfmb.com and look at the live video stream. Our volunteers on the phones,
absolutely,
the Warrior Foundation Freedom Station team, the founder, Sandy Lemkuhler, of course, Colonel Greg Martin, the president, who after 30 years in the Marine Corps, takes his expertise here now to lead this organization each day with Sandy's assistance, of course, because it's her baby, and that's
absolutely right.
Watching this come together, this is not some theory. It's not some organization you've never heard of. Do not confuse it with another organization that happens to have Warrior in it. That's not that. There have been some that have been in the news. You can look up Warrior Foundation Freedom Station. And look at the
Charity Navigator.
Charity Navigator.
Absolutely.
4-star rating. That's like the tip, right where you want to be. At the rating in terms of integrity, the overhead is so tiny compared to some of those stories.
That's
unfortunately, we see sometimes where you'll see, oh well, such and such a charity, they gave out of $100, $12 to the cause, and the rest was overhead. That's not this organization.
Absolutely.
This is a lot of bang for the buck, and a lot of volunteers. And again, it's a year-round effort. What happens there with Freedom Station 1, now Freedom Station 2 that is moving to the next level. Thank God the permits are now where they need to be for the next phase.
That's right.
And building anything, especially when it's historically designated, these older buildings, to get them all up to code. And
That's right.
Then we want to thank our sponsors, not only those who have underwritten the Radiothon today, like West Automotive Group and Bill Howe and National City Mile of Cars and Walter Anderson Nursery. And at Walter Anderson Nursery kicked in $500 in the last hour just because, in addition to everything else. So there are all those at all of our various businesses. Then there's the companies in San Diego that do the extra work at Freedom Station. Duncan Newman with the Newman windows and doors.
Absolutely.
Coming by. They're all Bill Howe. They all go in and do big things that they don't quantify. They don't make a big deal about it. They just do the work. It's fantastic.
I just want to kind of take people behind the scenes here for a quick moment. So we have Carla Cicchetto and Barbara Lee Edwards have both come on in here. They're standing in front of where we are reporting.
They're
live
eclipsing us now.
You're looking live.
The TV stars have come in and eclipsed us.
The team is coming in here, and now I happen to know that something very special is about to take place here, ladies and gentlemen. If we can get everybody, they're lining up. So what's happening now is this is great. This is like, here comes Sandy Lemkuhler, and she's coming on in.
She's crying.
And this is going to be quite a momentous occasion. As Mike Slater.
Mike Slater has his mic. Mike has the mic.
1.127 at this point.
1.127.
1.127.
Now, if you go to 760kfmb.com now, you can watch this transpire at the moment.
So I'm gonna just kind of
Down to the wire.
We're gonna narrate this. So Carlo Cicchetto, Barbara Lee Edwards, and of course Sandy Lemkuhler, along with Mike Slater and Alberto Meriteran, and
Alberto's the big cheese
team.
here at the
He's the general
station.
manager of the team
That's
station.
right.
So there's going to be a check presentation. I happen to know there's going to be a check presentation. I'm going to have to use the golf voice here, Mark.
Yes. You're disturbing Barbara Lee Edwards right now.
We are. See, so this is where the media clash.
Okay.
Because I am narrating a television hit.
Yes.
But I have to also be quiet.
They're back-timing it
so
now.
the gang is all there.
And we're on live right now. We don't take breaks.
I'm also theoretically photobombing this hit as well at
Are
the
you?
same time because I'm
How's
right
that working
there.
out for
Like,
you?
hey.
Yeah. Okay.
I have to resist the urge to say hi.
Is Slater
Mom.
going to pick up a live mic here? Is he going to lead us through? He's just posing for the picture right now. Okay.
So
Yes.
right
Here
now,
on the
here's
fifth
what's
fifth
happening.
tee at Torrey Pines.
Here we go. Let's see.
It's very exciting. It is the 16th
I'm going to keep talking here so that we don't have an alarm go off.
with our radio partners, AM 760 KFMB.
It's been a huge, heartwarming success with over $1.1 million raised so far to bring our military heroes home for the holidays, and we're not done yet.
Not done yet. AM 760's Mike Slater's here with a big announcement about a big donation. Mike, take it away.
Sandy Lemcooler, who started this 16 years ago. Just one of our listeners called in, wanted to help out, see how she could help out our Warriors. Here we are 16 years later, over $18 million raised for our Warriors, for our veterans. Sandy, you're amazing. Would you like to thank San Diego?
I would love to thank San Diego. We're a military town and we know how to take care of our own, but it wouldn't have happened without KFMB 760 and it wouldn't have happened without Channel 8. Thank you all so much. Thank everybody who participated today. It makes a difference and we're changing lives.
Sandy, on behalf of the Tegna Foundation and all the KFMB employees, we'd like to donate another $10,000 to the
$10,000 has just gone in. $10,000 from the
representing the giant oversized check.
We made it.
over $1 million again. 2 years in a row now. We're over $1 million because of San Diego.
This is so amazing. Let me share with you truly. They brought Jesse in as a Christmas present to me. All of these guys are going to go home. I'm sure the Marines have been packed for about 4 days, but they're all going to go home and we'll get them on the planes next week for sure. Thank you, San Diego. Thank you.
You can still donate. You can still donate on 760kfmb.com until the end of the year.
Thanks to all the volunteers and KFMB employees for making it such a big success.
Thank you, San Diego.
CBS Evening News. Thanks for joining us. You can still donate.
760kfmb.com.
So mind-boggling, although it's what happens with San Diego every
Ladies
year.
and gentlemen, I mean, you have done a miracle. You are doing a miracle here in real time. I mean, this is an incredible thing. Jesse, I appreciate you so much for being here for this last hour haul with us, man. We really appreciate your efforts.
Yeah, I wish I would have got here a little sooner.
It's all good,
Well,
man.
you're here now. We're happy you're here,
You did a great
Jesse.
job,
It's
and
really
we certainly want to send our best wishes and happy holidays and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and your family and all the best in your studies at the University of Arizona. Mark Larson, it has been a real pleasure. And
This
a real
is just
treat.
so, it's
be
an
a part
honor
of
to do this and to be able to
really
just, we're the facilitators here, and you got a little bonus of Brett doing some golf play-by-play there a little bit when the
really
TV hit was
is.
going on. But what the San Diego region, what our community does in so many ways when it comes to the military, and this has happened, by the way, in good economies and bad economies. Doesn't matter. So it all happens, and it happens because of you. You make this happen, San Diego.
Absolutely
we appreciate
correct.
it. Everything you've done.
And
continue. If you haven't donated yet, because I know you're busy driving home and everything else, make sure that you call 800-760-KFMB, 800-760-5362. Donate what you can. Tax-deductible donation. Go to 760kfmb.com and you'll be able to see. I think we're going to loop some of the video there. It'll be posted. You'll be able to see some of the moments of the day here in Studio A. And just continue to make a difference. Thank you, those who you have. We're at $1,139,495 and counting. 760kfmb.com. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and God bless us, everyone.
That's right. On behalf of Mark Larson, A&G, Mike Slater, and myself, and the entire team here at 760 KFMB and Tegna, we appreciate you so much. God bless. Good night. Be well.
Right.